All right, can we have your name, please?
Yeah, Dennis Knight.
And how old are you, Dennis?
Too bloody old. 58.
58. You are getting on a bit,
yeah,
mate.
no spring chicken now.
Yeah. First surfboard. Can you remember what your first surfboard was?
Well, yeah, it was a 6'4" Bob Davies, but before that, started off on the old, what they call a bellboard, which was, I suppose, forerunner to the boogie boards.
Oh, yeah,
About
yeah.
yay long.
Yeah.
That's first started with it.
So, did you buy that Bob Davies new, or was it one of your family members?
No, it was a new one, that one.
Yeah.
It was a member of the Ruakaka Surf Lifesaving Club, and a guy, Colin Meal, used to, he was an agent for Bob Davies. And
oh, yeah.
Sort of, yeah, a few of the
So did he live out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sold surfboards for Bob Davies out there?
That's correct, yeah.
Had the agency at Ruakaka, or?
Yeah, it was just just a local sort of dude. That, yeah.
So what year was that roughly?
Jesus, now we're thinking, that would have been...
Late 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been, late 60s, about 1970-ish, roundabout.
So, where did you start surfing?
Ruakaka.
Yeah.
Really because, well, we used to go there camping every year with parents, and...
The whole family?
Whole family did, and then became a member of Ruakaka Surf Lifesaving Club, and obviously while you're there, so surf's there.
So did you go to the campground, or did the family have a batch or something there?
No, we had a campground. We used to stay for 3 or 4 weeks every year.
Yeah.
So
So were you a member of the Tati Surf Club, or was it?
No, it was probably a little bit before my time, a little bit.
But your brother was, eh?
Yeah, brother Brett and Ainsley. Yeah.
So is that why you started surfing? Because you had older brothers?
No, just probably because we went to Ruakaka every year, and you know, because we used to spend our time at the beach, and the surf was there, and just a progression from that, I suppose.
Yeah. So how many of your family? I know you got, how many was in your family?
Yeah,
well, was in your family. Yeah, that's a better way of putting it.
Yeah, there are 8 kids.
8 kids.
Yeah, 2 girls, 6 boys. 5 of the boys surfed, and 1 sister surfed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot for one family. Yeah.
It is a lot. You know, and whether that was because we started off at Ruakaka, as I say, I don't know. But
so I have surfed with Brett years ago, and he was a bloody good surfer, and I've surfed with Ainsley, and she was pretty good, and then 3 of your other brothers and you I've surfed with over the years. So
there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's a lot of. So wetsuit. Did you have a wetsuit in those first years, or?
Not really. I was probably more of a summer surfer in those first years.
Yeah.
When I did start surfing a bit more in the winter, it was more a bloody dive suit.
Yeah. And they weren't really noted for paddling power, were they? But they did keep you warm, I suppose.
Yeah, they kept you warm, but that was about it.
Best surfboard you ever had? You ever had a surfboard that you wished you'd never sold, or is it the one you've got now? Or, you know, I know you've had quite a few, but is any that stand out?
Well, probably actually, I really liked my first Surfline 9-1, and I didn't sell it.
Yeah.
You know, it got busted over in bloody Bali, and I didn't find the front half of it. So,
so what, you left it there? Yeah.
Well, half of it wasn't going to be much good to me.
So how many times have you been to Bali?
Half a dozen times now.
Yeah. And where have you surfed over there, all over the place? Or?
Not really, no. I go over to Lebongan, surf over there, and Kuta Reef, and basically up Madiwi, up that way.
Yeah.
Basically a place I know, because first time I went there, went with a brother Richard who knew the area, so he sort of showed me around.
Yeah.
And then after that I've always been on my own.
Yeah. And
sort of was a bit sus about surfing places that I didn't know, especially say offshore reefs. And, you didn't know other people, so nobody else sort of keeping an eye out. So.
Yeah. So, but you usually teamed up with someone when you're over there?
Oh, well, you obviously got chatting to people and all the rest of it. But
so you've had some brilliant waves over there. Tell me about a couple. What are they like? And you know,
some of the best waves I've had. Well, be Kuta Reef. You know, I had one year I went there, a bit fitter than what I am now, and just cleaned up. You know, like there were 50, 60 guys there, and I was on my 9-1, and normally it doesn't give you a hell of an advantage, but for some reason, you know, that sort of trip, I seemed to be onto it, and Just got wave after wave.
What size are you looking at?
Probably double overhead for the
Yeah,
sets.
that's a fair size.
Oh
yeah.
But just controllable. It seems to make a difference here. If the tide's in,
Yeah.
you don't get that real sort of pounding.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
No,
Did you see some guys get eaten over there because they were?
Oh, and myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and myself. You know, I got cleaned up quite a few.
Not over the rocks though, on the sand that curve.
Oh no. Yeah, on the reef and over at Lebongan, and you know, I sort of gave up one day. I was in conditions I should never have been in, and
What was it? Just big and horrible.
just big and ugly, and I thought, I'm going to give up, mate. I'm going to kill myself here.
Yeah. Is that what you felt like? Yeah.
Yeah. I was, just not timing it right, and late takeoffs, and hello, here we go.
It usually happens when I find I get like that when I get a bit tired, eh?
Wasn't tired. It was just, I don't know.
And it wasn't working for you.
No, it wasn't at all.
Yeah.
But you have surfs like that.
So what do you think made you start surfing? Was it
just loved the water.
The beach?
Just being in the water, and it's sort of, when I joined the surf club, I hadn't actually didn't have my surfboard then, because I probably joined it about, 15, 16.
Yeah.
And we're just using this, surf skis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
so that's where you learnt how to ride a wave.
Yeah, read the waves a bit better, and stuff like that. And then there were always a few the old dungas around, like the Atlas Woods and stuff like that there that we used to play with, and so I guess that's where it started, for sure.
So did you go in some of the life-saving competitions?
Yep.
So
used to be the swimmer.
Yeah.
Because used to the real
drag the belt out and rescue someone, what they tie your back sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the story.
So where did you travel around the country doing that?
I went to Piha one year, nearly drowned.
Yeah. I suppose it was massive, was it?
Oh, look, it was really big, and we sort of went out and got caught in a blooming rip, and they decided, well, they're going to call it off, and they stopped feeding the line out.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I'm caught in this rip, and the water's just rushing past, and you're virtually doubled up here in the belt.
Yeah.
Had to pull a pin on the belt to get out of it.
Yeah.
And sort of come around and washed up on the rocks, and
Not a very nice.
No, not a nice experience.
Any surf heroes when you're starting to surf? Did you sort of look up to the overseas guys or the local guys?
Oh, not really. I was sort of never one that sort of. I just doing my own thing, I was not a.
Well, first car. What was your first car?
I was in the motorbikes before cars.
Yeah.
My first car was an Austin A40.
A40. Oh yeah.
Well, A40 Farina, a station wagon type one.
Yeah.
I had two of those.
Yeah. Did you have wide wheels on them or
no,
lower than anything?
Pretty standard. Got married young, and
so
it had to be a bit more respectable and.
They were a neat little car though, eh?
Oh, very reliable. Used to go over a bump, and used to keep going. The front suspension was stuck, and used to go like this for about half a mile down the road.
Not too good on the cornering, I suppose. Surf accidents? Have you had any bad accidents? Apart from nearly drowning a couple of times, you can't get much worse than that, can you?
No. I've never really sort of done myself any sort of bad injuries. Had the odd sort of knocks, but no major cuts or.
So when you started, what sort of music were you listening to in those days? Just the stuff on the radio, or did you have something that you had to have on the radio when you went to the beach, or?
Well, I didn't have much choice. I only had really radios, didn't you?
But
just whatever was on. I'm not a music freak by any means, so just.
Favourite surf trip in New Zealand? Somewhere where you've been for a bit of a trip and it was fantastic? I know you've done quite a.
I just like Ahipara, although I haven't been there for the last couple of 3 years actually. But so some of the trips up there have been good, and because it just peels normally. The only thing I would have loved it to be right-handers, but I guess it's like regular.
So where do you go to mostly to surf at the moment?
At the moment, I'd probably say down towards the power station way. Used to be obviously Sandy Bay, but I tend to go down that way quite a bit now, down the power station.
You used to surf Sandy's more when you lived at Nungaroo, which is understandable. It's only a 10-minute, 15-minute ride, and
correct. And I used to get home from work, and I could look out onto Nangaroo Bar,
Yeah.
and I could see if there'd be any swell at all. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I didn't really miss much.
Yeah. So did you surf the Nangaroo Bar much when you were out there?
Heaps.
Yeah.
It seemed to be on a lot. I don't know what's happened to it.
No, it's a neat. I grew up at Nangaroo as a
Yeah.
teenager, and we didn't actually surf the bar because we didn't have leg ropes, and
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, wouldn't want to be there without one.
I surfed it in a canoe, but till leg ropes,
Yeah.
no one sort of surfed it because if you lost your board out going tide, you'd
Yeah,
lost
gone.
it.
But yeah, no, I've had some brilliant surfs there. But yeah, I don't know. When I lived out there, it just seemed to be on and fairly consistent. Whereas nowadays, it just it does happen, but
Yeah.
not very often.
It's probably a bit like part out because that can be brilliant. Then you get a sand or shift or something, and you don't
Yeah.
get the bar there to break it. So
Yeah.
I think even Sandy Bay where you surf a lot, sometimes it's horrible, but you get a storm and next minute it's brilliant. So
Yeah.
just got to take the good with the bad.
That's beach breaks, I suppose. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
So do you ever surf with your sister Ainsley?
No, she's.
She take off to Aussie before.
Yeah, no, she was still like I was still probably in the growing up stage, and when she was surfing, I was probably a bit younger
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
So no.
I can remember going to her place and I was looking at Nangaroo, and I probably said I'd pick her up at 7, and I was an hour early, and I remember waking your whole house up. But I don't
Yeah,
think
Ainsley wouldn't like getting up an hour early.
and I remember your dad, I knew your dad because he was a builder and I was in the building trade, and I don't think he appreciated it, but he smiled in the end anyway. But I was about an hour early one day, and so funniest thing, what's the stupidest, funniest thing you've seen out surfing? You must have seen something out there that's you've
No,
laughed
not
at.
really. No, not a lot of funny things, but I was surfing with my brother, Richard, younger brother, and we were out at Nangaroo Bar, and there was a competition at Sandy Bay, and it was a girls' competition,
Oh yeah,
and all these girls came out at Nangaroo Bar,
yeah,
and Richard, who can hassle like hell and gets his share waves, just did not know what
didn't
to
like
do.
it.
I mean, yeah, like you sort of feel a bit funny,
Yeah,
all these girls there, and they're paddling for waves. They were good surfers,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, no, he didn't know what to do.
So he did start yelling at the screamer. Were they better surfers than him, or not really?
Oh no, not at all. But
yeah,
like normally he would be going for the waves.
Yeah.
One of the chicks would start going for a wave,
So he
and
backed
he
off
just
of it?
back off.
Yeah,
He just didn't quite know how to take it. But yeah.
Yeah. And where were your favourite trip around New Zealand? Shippies, have you been down the line? Surf Gisborne and those places?
Not
or?
a hell of a lot, matey. Yeah, no. I've sort of done most of my surfing around this area here.
Yeah. So you go over Dargan a fair bit?
Oh yeah, Dargan. And that can have some awesome waves,
Yeah.
but obviously you've got to pick the conditions.
Yeah. So you know which way the wind's going before we head off, or you know someone over there, and
No, as long as it's northeasterly or
Yeah.
thereabouts, and swell that they don't advertise as being more than about 3 foot, you can have beautiful conditions here.
but a long time you'd be by yourself over there, wouldn't you? You just
Yeah,
not
you
worried
do worry about those.
Yeah, no,
Fighting.
you just go? Or
Yeah. And it does feel funny over there because you're normally quite a way offshore.
Yeah.
Um,
And you big currents at times too, aren't you?
Yeah, you don't like to break leg ropes, but if the surf's not too big, it's pretty much under control.
Yeah.
If it gets up there, well,
Yeah.
not so good. But yeah, no, we have some awesome surfs here.
Well, I was just thinking, if all the knights went out there with their kids and that, if you got them all together in one spot, there'd be a few crew.
There'd be a crowd.
Any of your brothers and sisters, they have kids that surf, or they're a bit young yet?
Oh, no. Brett, the eldest brother, Greg, used to be a really good surfer, and then sort of give it away for a while, but he's just got back into it. I suppose, the other brothers, no sort of really real surfers in the family.
Yeah. So what's the brother that lives at Partow? Paul. Has he got kids with...
Yeah, he's got kids, but
they're very young.
No, they're all, they're old enough.
Are they?
Just not into surfing.
Yeah.
Paul's not at the moment, he's in Australia in the mine, so obviously he's not going to be doing
But
too much.
he loves getting out there and catching a wave, eh? I've been out there Partow with him, and gives you a bit of stick and a bit of cheek. He's a good bugger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of some funny stories that we've seen together, but I know we're at Sandy Bay one day and there was a neat little nose ride, and if you stayed there for too long, you just ate it on the sand.
Oh,
and I think that day we both dinged our blinking boards. It wasn't a big day, but...
No, as you do, right into the death. You know.
You think, oh, this is neat, and hello, next one at the beaches.
This
there.
much water.
Yeah, and you wonder why you wreck your board.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know where to go next, so that's just about it. That's fantastic.
Oh, well, I'll just tell you what I'm riding now, I suppose.
Yeah, tell me, what are you riding now?
Yeah.
How many boards have you got?
I've only got two.
Two?
I've got a 9-1 competitor, Surfline,
Yeah.
from Roger, which I really like.
How old's that?
Getting on a bit now. Picture of it, where the hell are we?
Oh, down behind you, yeah. What is that?
That one.
Yep. And you designed that?
Yeah. Well, actually I cheated because I saw it in a magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Not those colours, but that pattern.
Yeah.
And I've had that now, must be getting on 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And my aircraft carrier, my 10-3 Electroglide,
Yeah.
another Surfline board. I probably only had that about 2 years, that one.
They're great. That's what I ride. I just love my 10-3.
Yeah.
People look at you, they got there, but man, you can have so much fun on it. But,
I actually thought yours was bigger, Laurie.
no, 10-3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was unimpressed when it was 10-6.
No. Maybe next, as I get older,
Yeah, well.
don't have to paddle so much. Yeah. What was I going to say? We've got all the Tarahi surf magazines that they put out. That's the first surf club of Wongaray, and that 65 I think they started. But your sister was a member. We've got a photo of her in the first contest in 1966 there. She was Miss Akurama, I see, for Oars kibber shop.
Yeah, I can remember something like that.
Yeah,
with the old sashes on.
Yeah. So that was quite neat reading that.
Yeah.
So, and she's an Aussie, eh?
Yeah, she's over Aussie. She's been Aussie most of her life.
Yeah. She was a damn good surfer. All right, cheers, mate. I appreciate that. Excellent.
Okay.